Let's talk about leading your own life because this is something that I've just, I've been blogging about, like, when I'm on a train and I've just been writing it out. And just by saying that in these times, everyone becomes a leader in their personal life too, because maybe you're locked down with a family of six uh, and guess what? You're all stuck together and you can get up and you can sleep in the morning, wake up at 1, loaf around, watch Netflix, complain about the situation, watch too much news, or you could get up early, get dressed, have a plan, stay positive, and you can do that as a 10-year-old kid or an 85-year-old grandmother. And that can make a massive difference in how we get through this situation. Is that right?
Yeah, so I actually got to experiment with this whole concept when I was a young SEAL. Back in the 90s, SEALs would go on deployment on board ships, US Navy ships. We'd go out to sea and travel, across the Pacific or across the Atlantic. And so we'd be on board these ships. Now, when you're a SEAL on a ship, you have no job. You don't have to check the engine room. You don't have to, man the signal devices. You don't have to man the radio. You have no job. You have nothing. In fact, the joke is when in the 90s, when we were SEALs on board ships, we said that SEAL stood for sleep, eat, and lift, because that's all we had to do was just sleep, eat, and lift. And there was guys that would go into hey, I'll go to sleep whenever, I'll wake up whenever, doesn't really matter, I'll work out whenever. And you would watch their personal habits and their health and their progress as humans go downhill. Whereas other guys that would say, okay, you know what? I'd have 3 or 4 of my friends. We'd say, let's get up. We're going to work out here. We're going to do our first workout of the day here. We're going to go and study this here. We're going to watch a movie here. Cause it's not like we could fill 24 hours. We'll watch a movie. We'll do our second workout here. We'll practice this here. We'll review this weapon system there. And we actually did things all day long. And the difference between, what that would look like after a month, some guys, you could see them they were getting out of shape. They were dragging ass around the ship because they just were unhealthy, the way they were eating and everything else. Whereas a bunch of us were getting stronger, getting faster, getting smarter about our job. So as soon as this whole quarantine thing started, I knew exactly what mode I was going to go into. And that's exactly what I told everyone. I said, hey, listen, first thing you got to do is make a schedule. Make a schedule. Get up the same time every day. Go to bed the same time every day. This is an opportunity. I've spent the most nights with my wife in the past 6 weeks than I ever have had in my life with her. So that's how much, so it's been great, but I'm not going to squander it by sleeping in until 11 o'clock or staying up watching Netflix. No, like I'm going to get after it, going to get better, writing all the time. You got to make a schedule. You got to stick to it. Otherwise your lesser being will start to take control, and you don't want that.
And then your self-esteem just starts to drop, right? Because your subconscious mind knows if you are actually earning the day, right? And if you don't earn it, it starts to think less of even yourself, right? And that's when you start dragging ass and all of that stuff. I mean, it ultimately catches up to you.
Yeah, I've said that discipline begets discipline. Like the more discipline you have, the more discipline you have. The opposite's true too. The lazier you are, the lazier you get. So you have to get on the right path. You have to stick to it. And look, if you have a day where you lose it and you don't do what you want to do, take that as a lesson. Because just as you said, at the end of the day, you go, man, I didn't do anything today. I wasted a day. Take that as a lesson. Remember that feeling the next day so you don't repeat that mistake.